Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Schaefer Field, the host for tonight's Section 1 3A quarterfinal game between the Wingers of Red Wing and the defending state champions, the Stewartville Tigers. We are live from the Dan Simmons broadcast booth. I'm Adam Peterson, and joined as always up here, two-time section champion head football coach, state champion track coach, a legend here in Stewartville and Tiger Nation. Aaron Meyer, how pumped are you to get playoffs started?
Hey, it's always fun to get the playoffs started, so I'm super pumped. I'm even more pumped that you think about a year ago today, it was a Tuesday, and you and I sat in the box for about 2 hours as a monsoon came through, and this game didn't start till 9 o'clock. So we're going to start on time tonight. I'm pretty excited.
Red Wing coming into Schaefer Field for the second time in 10 days. This is a rematch of the Week 7 regular season Southeast District Red matchup, a game that the Tigers won 71-0. Red Wing was down 13 players injured. We see a lot of them back tonight. Cal Nelson and Adam Rowe back from an injury, I believe it was. Both of those guys you may see at quarterback. We'll see Kajewski go from that quarterback spot that he started in for the first time ever in Week 7. He'll move to his more comfortable wide receiver spot. Keegan Knutson coming off a big week last week with 2 touchdown catches, both of those over 60 yards, I believe. The Stewartville team, though, coming in absolutely hot, outscoring opponents 121-0 over the last 2 weeks. We're coming off a win 50-0 at Rochester Lourdes, a game that Parker Wangen was again stellar. Vince Wellick has been incredible, especially the last 4 weeks. Listen to this, 44 of 49, 769 yards, 13 touchdowns for our junior quarterback. Our defense is playing well, our offense is really clicking, and they seem to be peaking at the perfect time, Coach.
Yeah, it's a team firing on all cylinders right now. All 3 phases of the game have been lights out here for most of the season, but certainly in these last 3 or 4 weeks, we've just seen, well, you said, we've had shutout after shutout and 50-plus points in nearly every game, and then the special teams, which I just get the big kick out of. We're just dominant in the return game and in the kicking game, so it's going to be a tough task here for Red Wing tonight to come in here and spring an upset, but there's a reason we play these games. You gotta let them play it out on the field.
So back deep to receive for the Stewartville Tigers, Parker Wangen and Dylan Scanlon, both electric playmakers with the ball in their hand. Kicking off, Hunter Greeley got a good leg. We saw him punt the ball quite well in Week 7. He'll also handle the kicking responsibilities, and he's going to start us off here at Schaefer Field. He's going to hit that one. It goes off of Peyton English's legs, but Peyton does a good job of just jumping on it, and Stewartville will start at their own 35-yard line. You can tell Red Wing does not want to put that ball in the hands of Wangen or Scanlon. Probably a smart move.
Yeah, the squib kick's never a bad idea, especially if there are explosive returners in the back end of that, and certainly Wangen and Scanlon would classify as explosive returners.
So we are going to see this Stewartville offense for the first time tonight. I'm assuming Red Wing won the toss and deferred. This offense scoring 46 points a game. And Vince Wellick stepping into the shoes of departed Aiden Helder. He's going to hand that one off to Scanlon off the right side. Doobie's kicking out there from his guard position, and Scanlon is tackled by Adam Rowe at about the 42-yard line, a pickup of about 7.
So pretty good job by the offensive line right away. Trying to seal the edge, but maybe didn't quite get it done, and then a good cut by Scanlon to tuck in there right behind his tackle, and, I mean, they're picking up 7 yards of carry. That's a good run right there.
Our Big Cats have been outstanding this year. We're averaging 226 yards on the ground rushing and 157 passing, and it's because of those Big Cats, and you see this quite often. You'll see the right tackle move over. We got a heavy set to the left side. Now Wangen and Klug are coming out to the near side towards your camera. Wellick in the backfield, gives it off to Scanlon right up the middle. He bursts through, he breaks the tackle, and if he breaks another one, I don't know. Oh, big hit there by Mickey Height, but they're going to throw a flag, and this one's going to come back. I believe they're going to get it for a block in the back, and that's probably the perfect time to use that step in front and seal block where we turn our back to them. But either way, it's going to be a first down. Great run by Scanlon, unfortunately going to be called back.
And something we don't see a ton from Stewartville is the old, just straight ahead, the old ISO run or the dive.
Number 2, Stewartville. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. First down.
So we'll get the first down. It'll be marked back 15 yards from the 30-yard line where it happened. So 1st and 10 from the Red Wing 45. You saw 2 2 runs there to Scanlon right off the bat. That's how we started the Lourdes game last week, too. We didn't put the ball in the air until about the 6th play, and even that was a little bubble screen to Parker Wangen.
Right, and that was kind of where I was going to go with my comment before the ref decided to tell us what happened there. But against Lourdes, we did run the ball up the middle a little more often, so something that we're getting a little better at, and coaches like it. So it's fun to see, kind of a new wrinkle coming into this offense late in the year.
Here's Dylan Scanlon on this side. Trips to the right, so sometimes they'll run him in a jet motion, fake it, and flip it to Parker Wangen in the middle. They do. He ran this one for a touchdown the last time against Red Wing. He's going to try to get the corner and just outrun everybody. He's at the 30. He's at the 20, the 15. Sorry. We saw that play go for a touchdown against Red Wing on senior night. First play of the game.
You saw it. I saw a cloud of powder
right.
in front of my face, but you were able to duck the powder and see. But, they ran it the other way the last time. This time they ran it to the near sideline. A nice little play when you got the jet action one way and then the little shovel pass coming back the other direction.
And the thing that Coach Muller does so well is a lot of times he sets things up for later on. You might see that same jet motion, and Parker Wangen may fake come in for a shovel pass, and maybe somebody slips out for a corner route and all alone because everybody's eyes are on number 16, as they should be. But 1st and 10 from the Red Wing 15-yard line. Wellick in the backfield, height to his left, Scanlon right behind him. Klug's going to go in motion towards Wangen on the far side. He's going to reset. Wellick gets the handoff, fakes the... He's going to throw it up. Caleb Bancroft with a touchdown from 15 yards away. And it only took Stewartville 2 minutes and 6 seconds to get on the board. This one from Wellick to Bancroft. That's 2 straight games that Bancroft has had a receiving touchdown. Great to see him start getting involved in the game plan, Coach.
Yeah, and an awesome play fake there from Wellick. The defensive eyes, that's all it was. It didn't have to be the take a step or two, but just the eyes were watching the running back. That gave Bancroft enough time to just slip behind his defensive backs there. And with his big frame, that's all you need. Wellick put it right on the money.
So Parker Wangen just in a shotgun. He's going to run this one to the left, right behind the big guys, and he gets across for the 2-point conversion, and Stewartville leads it 8-0, and we will get to see the Gold Rush for the first time tonight. But they will be facing a little bit different look from an offense that had their best game of the week last week, Red Wing did, against Lake City. 39 points they put up in that 49-39 loss to Lake City. So with Cal Nelson back, with Adam Rowe back, you got Greeley out there, you got Knutson, and you got Kajewski in a more comfortable spot. Gold Rush is going to have to really watch themselves now because they like to chuck the ball.
Yeah, and it was nearly all passing yards in the second half for Red Wing. They maybe had a few decent runs there, but short little passes on most of them that went for 75-plus yards for touchdowns, and then I think one big long bomb that I noticed in the second half there. But they certainly got the passing game going. I tell you what, if I am a coach on the Red Wing offensive staff, we might chuck that ball 55 times tonight, simply knowing that the last time we watched these two teams play, not even 7 days ago or whatever, Ridge Hats and Lincoln Doobie were in the backfield within a half a second and disrupting any running game they were trying to get going. So I might just chuck it and chuck it and chuck it and hope for the best.
Yeah, like Coach alluded to, negative 31 yards rushing this Gold Rush held Red Wing to, but they did have 83 yards passing. And yeah, Lincoln Doobie was in the backfield so much they should have just gave him a winger jersey as Parker Wangen boots that one end over end. And Knutson's going to field that at his own 5-yard line, choose to bring it out. And they're just going to stand him up and bring him down at the 20-yard line. So just as good of as a touchback. And we will see if it's going to be Nelson or Rowe at quarterback. Adam Rowe, a very talented athlete. Looks like he's coming out to take charge of the huddle here. No, he's handing the play off to Cal Nelson. So Rowe will be one of the skilled players along with Kajewski and I would imagine Knutson. And Greeley's out there as well. So they got 4 wide. Knutson on the far side, trips right here. Cal Nelson in the backfield with, I think it's Christensen. We'll find out. Oh, bad snap, or mishandled. Here comes Grayson Schneider around the middle. Oh, good pass there to the middle. Rowe in and out of his hands. That play was just all sorts of off from the start. It hit Nelson's hands, bobbled it. There was pressure coming from the outside, tried to move up in the pocket, get something across the middle. Rowe couldn't hang on to it. 2nd down and 10.
And it is something that's worked against Stewartville here a few times during the season, is just sending the running back up the middle and throwing a little dump pass to him. I think we saw Pine Island do it once, and even Plainview Elgin Millville, I think, hit that play once as well.
Greeley and Kajewski on the near side. Nelson rolls out to the side. Here comes Grayson Schneider and Lincoln Doobie giving chase. He throws it back across his body. And that one was short to the receiver intended for Adam Rowe. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. And this is what Stewartville loves, is to have long down and distance when you get late. 3rd down and 10, 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, there's really no threat of a run here coming on this play, and that's going to let Schneider and Doobie and Hatz and Bancroft just go to work with their pass rush moves and see what they can do.
Red Wings got to be careful throwing the ball up, as we got 2 ball hawks in the backfield. Parker Wangen tied for the team lead in interceptions there at the deep safety. Jace Klug coming over from his safety position to cover one of the trips receivers. Nelson's going to get the snap. He's going to pop back. Mickey Height came through and just destroyed somebody. They threw it up. And boy, number 4, Keegan Knutson got a step on him. He's cutting back and forth. He might take this the entire way. That's a touchdown for Red Wing. Keegan Knutson on a prayer of a throw from Nelson gets a ball, and then give Knutson all sorts of credit as he made several Tigers miss. I don't know what happened on the coverage there, but the donut is off the board early. It is 8-6 Stewartville.
Yeah, and give Red Wing credit, just throwing the long ball down the sidelines, connecting in, and as you said, Knutson doing work on the last 50 yards. Tremendous run after the catch.
So Nelson to hold, bad snap. Greeley's just going to pick that one up and try to run it in to tie this game up, but they stop him short of the goal line. So 8-6 Stewartville, 9:19 to go in the first quarter. Who would have thought this, Coach, a 2-point game just 3 minutes into it?
Well, and that's what Red Wing needs, is a little bit of hope, a little bit of something to build on, and certainly coming off of a 39-point performance last week, and then scoring on the opening possession, they got to be feeling real good. Like, this passing game has developed quite nicely here late in the season.
They got away with it there. I don't know how many times you're going to get away with a ball like that hangs up in the air, but Knutson was open. It was a right read by Nelson. Somehow, I don't know what happened with the receivers, if they passed off a running back. We wish we had instant replay here. Either way, this gold rush, that probably is going to fire them up and say, hey, we can't just sit back and think that Red Wing's going to roll over. They're playing for their season as well.
Yep.
And they played us. I know they were down guys in week 7. They played us tough. They battled as tough as they could all 4 quarters, and now they come out full health.
Yeah. And Nelson he did have to duck a sack attempt there, but he had a little more time than he's probably going to have throughout the night. So all things considered, they got to be feeling real good about that particular possession. And why not, when you were down 71-0 in the last game. Putting points on the board is great.
I don't know. I think it was Christensen in the backfield. Mickey Height absolutely steamrolled him, but give him credit for stepping up and taking that block on, as Scanlon's going to return this one. He jukes in and out. He tries to get away from Adam Rowe, but Rowe is going to wrestle him down at the 30-yard line. But even just stepping up and giving Nelson that extra second or two, as Mickey Height was blitzing off that left side, was enough to give him the 1 second he needed to get it to Knutson. Knutson, another huge catch for him after a big day last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so now Stewartville's offense is going to need to respond. And now we will see the junior running back, Malik Abdi. I call him the two-headed monster because there is no drop-off. When you go from Dylan Scanlon to Malik Abdi, they're both fantastic running backs, two of the best in the entire Southeast Red District.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's two guys with similar style, but they run they have like a little bit of different feel to the way they hit the hole or hit the run.
Wellick in the backfield, he's going to roll to the right. Malik Abdi does a good job picking up the blitz, which gives Wellick all sorts of time. He throws that one up to Wangen, who's wide open. Wangen just needs to beat one guy. He's running down the field. Knutson's going to try to catch him. And look at that answer. You give it to Parker Wangen, and you got your answer.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Wellick and Wangen with a beautiful pass and catch there.
And we talked about running backs picking up blitzers. How about Malik Abdi stepping up not once but twice to make sure that Nelson couldn't get to Wellick. Wellick buying some time, rolling to the left. And there was Parker Wangen all alone. Needed to make one guy miss. He made about 4 lured guys miss on 4th and 14 last week, so we knew he could do it. 70 yards away, and now you see him in the backfield on a 2-point conversion attempt. He's going to throw that one wide open as Jace Klug, and that's another 2-point conversion. 16-6, 8:58 to go in the first quarter. Coach, we've had a scoring onslaught. 3 minutes and 2 seconds only.
Well, before we move on to the next scoring opportunity, you brought up Malik Abdi's pass protection there, and I just want to point out that was not as easy as he made it look. The Red Wing pass rusher took kind of a weird angle and was almost crossing Wellick's face, and instead of attacking, Abdi kind of just sat and was patient and waited for the defender to kind of cross and then picked him up. It was very well done from a running back standpoint.
So 3 drives, 3 scores. I mean, if anybody appreciates this, it's a track coach, and that's you. I mean, look at this. 80-yard touchdown pass, 70-yard touchdown pass. Wow.
Video game football right here.
Well, I would imagine that the difficulty is going to be up from rookie to about Heisman on this next drive, because the Gold Rush does not like giving up those Darlin Bakery donuts.
Yeah, I was going to say Coach Hain might be the one that despises
some scores around our Section 1 3A. Lake City and La Crescent tied at 7. PEM and Pine Island still 0-0 with 4 minutes left in the first. And then Zumbrota Mazeppa is down to Rochester Lured 7-0 with 2 minutes to go in the first. As that kick is going to go deep to Knutson, the playmaker. They're going to fake. Oh, they tried to hand it off. And Sawyer Wood makes the tackle. He's right there with the help of number 34, Eli Shy.
A little bit of a strange reverse there as he handed it off in front of him instead of usually the guy getting the ball goes behind. It just didn't look very smooth there, and the result was lacking.
So Red Wing will start at their own 11-yard line. Cal Nelson at quarterback. Wiles in the backfield. Knutson on the near side. Trips to the far side. It's Greeley, Kajewski, and Rowe. Nelson's going to take that. He's going to look to the left. Here comes Goodman. Number 51, Carson Goodman, I believe it is.
I think they said the ball came out. I think we got it. I think Stewartville got it.
Have they pointed yet? It is a fumble, and it's Stewartville ball, baby. The turnover, I said it's going from rookie level to Heisman in the first play. Carson Goodman, who's having a fantastic year. 17 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, had 2 sacks, now make it 3, and a forced fumble. And he's going to give this Stewartville offense the ball on what, the 2-yard line? Run Leslie Coonard out there, Coach.
Well, we got a tough view for us to actually see the minute details that just happened there, but I think the Red Wing quarterback was trying to still throw the football as he was being sacked. And the ref said the ball came out, and Stewartville's going to get another chance here.
We got tight trips left. It's Klug, Wangen, and Height on the far side. Here comes Dylan Scanlon. Wellick is going to fake that inside handoff to Doobie. And are you kidding? Lincoln, the best thing that's happened from Lincoln since the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. This time, though, it's Doobie from 1 yard away. Are you kidding me? Wow! It only took 161 years for something just as good to happen to a Lincoln. But I'll take it. Stewartville now leads 22-6 with 8:40 to go. Did you see that coming?
I did not. Was that tumbleweed? I'm thinking
no,
that
it looked like they handed it off to Scanlon on the jet sweep. And then look at this, Wangen throws it over the top. It looked like they handed it to Scanlon on the jet sweep, and then Lincoln Doobie was pulling around the other way.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
I didn't even see how he got the ball, but what an awesome play.
Okay, so let's just recap this. In the last 39 seconds, 3 touchdowns have been scored, Coach.
Yeah, you can't say that very often. We still had 8:40 on the clock in the first quarter, and we got 28 points on the board.
I never thought I would write that. 1 yard TD run, Doobie. Let's go. One of my favorite players in Tiger Nation on this gridiron. That guy's motor is always going, and I love to see the big cats rewarded. We've seen it with Caden King. We saw it with Peyton Byrne. Heck, they tried to get Ridge Hatza pass last week, and now you got Lincoln Doobie, a guy that just loves to pull and annihilate people. Well, now he was pulling, getting the handoff. He looked like a natural.
He did. Well, and I will tell you that he throws shot and discus on the track team, but there's occasions where we put him in the 4x1 or the open 100, and that young man can fly. I am not kidding. He has a motor like you wouldn't believe. So I wish I had their 40 times because I know he's probably the fastest lineman that we do have, besides maybe Grayson, who's otherworldly. Yes.
Not many guys throw a shot, defensive end, and then run your 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
Stewartville up 16, 8:40 to go in the first quarter as Wangen's going to boot this one deep, and they keep going to Knutson on that far side. Oh my gosh, Peyton English just annihilated somebody. The tackle was made by number 41 for Stewartville. That's Simon Emanuel. They gave credit to Zeke Spencer, but I would assume that somebody would be falling back about 8 yards if he hits them.
I think on kickoffs, that's just the default. If you don't know, you just say
call
Zeke
10.
Spencer, and you're going to get it most of the time.
That's what we do on this broadcast a lot of times, too. So Stewartville running that three-man front. Oh, nope, Carson Goodman just came in. They do have the four-man front. You got, I believe, 57 is Tommy Lofgren on the far side. He's now come in to spell some of these linemen. Throws it over to Kajewski and Luke Eastman, who had a huge day last week against this Red Wing team. 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown, and a forced fumble on the near sideline. He makes the tackle right there, but Kajewski picks up about 1.
And Nelson took a pretty good shot there from Schneider. He's not going to want to be seeing. Was that Schneider? Yeah, I think it was. That's a big guy to be taking a hit from for a 1-yard completion.
Schneider back after missing the Rochester Lured game. It looks like he has a huge pad on his left arm, but so far hasn't affected his ability to get to the quarterback. 2nd down and 9. Nelson's going to roll a little bit to his left. Here comes another one. Is that Goodman again?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you from this far away, it's always like 51, 57. I don't know. Is there something on the top of that? Are they trying to get intentional grounding there? You have to be out of the pocket, correct? Or is it just near a receiver?
This rule has changed since I was. It's very different than. But I do think quarterbacks can finally throw the ball out of bounds and get relief. Or in the, let's call them the old days, you couldn't even do that. You just had to find a receiver and throw it at their feet.
Here comes Lincoln Doobie on after signing autographs after that touchdown run. He's now back in at defensive line next to his buddy Ridge Hatz, Schneider, and Tommy Lofgren on the left side. Justice Dino is peeking his way around the left side. You'll see if they send Dino on the blitz. They do. They might not need it because here comes Zeke Spencer, and he throws him down, ragdolls him. He leads our team in tackles, and he's got another tackle for loss right there. Zeke Spencer has been incredible this year. He's the team's leading tackler, 35 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 forced fumble, and he gets the sack there and forces the punt from Red Wing.
Well, that's going to be the biggest change from the last game against Lake City Tigers is the lack of time that Nelson's going to have tonight to throw the football. There's just going to be heat coming in roughly 2 to 3 seconds on every single play.
I just noticed Dylan Hoot on the sideline without pads, so Parker Wangen is going to be the one returning this, or not so much, as Colin McGill got good pressure, and it goes off the side of Greeley's foot, and they're going to mark that. Goodness gracious, he's still walking. 20 right there, maybe 21. The 21-yard line. You know, the last thing you want to do is give this team a short field. They started on the 1-yard line the last touchdown, and now they're starting on the 21-yard line.
Well, you mentioned Dylan Hoot. There was a non-contact injury last night at practice, and the coaches were pretty bummed. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but Hoot's going to be out here at least tonight.
Well, hopefully it's not to the magnitude of Brandon Hof. Remember that?
Yeah,
It was a practice injury, and that one. Really
Same
hurt.
time of year.
Yep. Playoffs. Never want to see that. Vince Wellick in the backfield, all alone. Trips to the right. It's Bancroft, Height, and Wong. And on the left side, Abdi and Klug. Here comes Abdi in motion. They're going to fake the handoff. They're going to come back to Jace Klug behind the line of scrimmage. He circles and is able to make one Red Wing guy miss. And he gets down to about the 14-yard line.
How about that spin move by Jace Klug? As the contact hits him, he just spins off it, picks up 8 yards. Good balance.
Yeah, good read by the cornerback there coming up. I don't know if that was Kalen Beard or not. But either way, great spin move there as Jace Klug hit the O button and got out of there and was able to pick up about 7 yards, 2nd down and 3. Abdi next to Wellick on the right side. 6:20 to go in the first quarter, 22-6 Stewartville. He sends Abdi to the far side. Wellick all alone in the backfield. Drops back. He's going to pass that one out in the flat to Mickey Height. Mickey Height makes Kajewski miss. He's continuing to run. He stiff arms him. Just flattens Knutson. And Mickey Height, who's no stranger to the end zone, himself gets in from 15 yards away. And Stewartville leads 28-6 with 6:01 to go in the first quarter. 5 touchdowns in the first 6 minutes of this game, Coach.
Yeah, it's just tremendous offense all the way around. That play right there is just, they go to their typical tight bunch set and then send motion outside of the bunch, so you essentially have quads, and then it's just a little 3-yard out to Mickey Height. But with all the confusion and good athletes out there running around, it's an easy touchdown.
Wangen puts that one all the way onto the track, and it's 29-6 with 6:01 to go in the first quarter. Boy, that 80-yard touchdown pass from Nelson to Knutson really woke this Stewartville team up. You had to meet the next play was a 70-yard touchdown pass from Wellick to Wangen. That made it 16-6. Then you had Carson Goodman with the sack, the forced fumble at the 1-yard line. Doobie gets in to score. We have a 3-and-out. All of a sudden, it's 15-yard touchdown catch by Mickey Height, who usually finds the end zone based on a pick 6. But he's going to do it on offense now.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, it's 29-6, and we've only got halfway through the first quarter.
and Mickey Height's going to get more offensive snaps here with Dylan Hoot being out tonight. That H-back position, which Hoot usually does such a nice job, I've complimented him as much as I can, as kind of being an unsung hero on the offense. Sneaking in there for a block here, or just kind of always downfield, blocking for, whoever might have the ball. And now it's going to be Mickey Height doing that dirty work a little bit. But he gets a splash play here early in the first week of the playoffs.
So the last time Red Wing and Stewartville played, Vince Wellick 13 of 17 for 262 yards and 5 touchdowns. He already has 3 tonight.
Yeah. He's been sharp. I just can't say enough about his development over the course of the season. You can tell he has complete control of the offense at this point, and he's just throwing dimes most of his attempts.
That one's going to go to Greeley. They switched Knutson's out of there. And there's Peyton English on the tackle, and he's helped by who else? Zeke Spencer, giving himself CPR, slamming himself in the chest. Peyton English, though, really stellar sophomore. We saw him get a touchdown run last week against Lure, 3 carries, 33 yards, and a touchdown. And it was a good-looking run by English. And he's good size. He's going to stay out there at linebacker. I believe he's given Mickey Height a break.
Yeah. There's certain guys that are just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like they're thick. It's like it's like their bones weigh more than everybody else's bones. And Peyton English would be one of those guys that's just a thick, strong guy.
Trips on the far side, Knutson all alone on the near side. Nelson is going to look to hand that one off the middle, and I think it's Wiles, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was number 10. And he stopped, but he does pick up about 2 yards. That must be a rule. If you score a touchdown on offense, you can't go out the next defensive series, because we saw Lincoln Doobie had to sit out a couple plays. Now Mickey Height. As Saquon Barkley said last week, just let the young guys eat. Bancroft, Goodman, Doobie, and Schneider on the front line. At linebacker, you have English, Spencer, and Dino. Defensive backs, Eastman, Klug, Wangen, and Larson. Nelson's going to take the snap. He's going to hand that one off the middle, and there's Lincoln Doobie, I believe. No, it was Carson Goodman. I saw the one. Carson Goodman slows him up. Justice Dino comes. Wow, they gave him like 3 yards on that spot. I didn't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I didn't either, but we're going to get a
third down and 5. 4:50 to go. Stewartville up 23 points. Boy, this defense, it just has to, they had to be shell-shocked. 80-yard touchdown pass, Nelson to Knutson. They were not prepared for that. Essentially, in one play, Red Wing had almost more yards. They did have more total yards than the entire game the last time we played. But when you bring in quarterback Nelson and you put Adam Rowe out there who's an athlete, you get guys like Kajewski in more comfortable spots. They're dangerous, and Nelson's going to drop back and try to look to his left, look to his right, and Lincoln Doobie buries him with the help of Carson Goodman. Oh, and Lincoln Doobie ripped the ball out. They're going to say he's down. Doobie looking for his second touchdown. If he were to score on the scoop and score, he'd have one on offense, one on defense. You would have to put him back at punt return, wouldn't you?
I mean, you got to all three phases.
I mean, have Wong and catch it and then do a reverse to Doobie.
Maybe he could kick an extra point like Jace Klug did last week and just get his scoring through the uprights.
So 3:40 and counting in the first quarter. Greeley back to punt at. Oh, it's blocked! Colin McGill blocks it! What a job by 14! He almost got it the last time, and now he got it this time. And boy, he hit the ball, he blocked the ball, and then just laid out Greeley. Greeley getting up slow. Hopefully he's okay. But either way, another short field for the Stewartville Tigers. Do you just run this play the other way and have Shell Lunas go in now instead of Lincoln Doobie?
Always an option. You know, I mentioned the last time we were here calling a game that I was surprised in my film study at the depth of the punter and the field goal unit. The punter was back at like 9.5, 10 yards, where usually it's 12 to 14. And the field goal kicker was back at about 6 yards, where normally it's just a standard 7. So I just kind of noticed that in film pickup, and I'm sure our coaches were all over that and figuring they could get one. They
Paid
certainly
off there.
did. Yeah.
We now have the ball at the 3-yard line. Wellick is going to just throw that one up to Jace Klug, and Klug catches it with ease in the back corner of the end zone, and Stewartville leads 35-6 with 3:26 to go in the first quarter. That is the 5th different Tiger to have a touchdown coach. You got Bancroft, Wangen, Doobie, Height, and now Klug. We had 11 different guys put points on the board against Red Wing the last time.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to beat that. I don't know.
Spreading that ball out. Well, it just shows the balance of power and how many great athletes are on this football team. Once again, though, I mean, Vince Wellick just throws a perfect pass there, right in the breadbasket for Jace Klug to finish.
And Wangen is going to put that one right through the uprights, and it's going to be 36-6. Stewartville. We've had 42 points scored, and we aren't even into the second quarter yet. Updates on scores around here. Section 1-3A, Lake City up 14-7 on La Crescent. That's the 4-5 game. Pine Island has now scored 7-0 over PEM with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Rochester lured up 2 touchdowns now, 14-0 with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. That's something last week when I saw Rochester lured, I said they may be a team.
Yeah.
You've seen lower seed teams. PEM as a 7 seed made a run to the section final. Lured and Coach Kessler and his experience and his leadership, that's a team you got to watch out for in that bottom half of the bracket.
Yeah, I was in watching back the Stewartville Lourdes game. Just, again, so impressed with Lourdes guys are always in the right spot. They're where they're supposed to be. Now, they might not have the athletes that they've had in years past. That's maybe debatable, but they're always in the right spot. And so that's one thing you know with Lourdes is you're just going to get a fundamentally sound football team coming at you. So they could do it. You never know.
So Wangen is going to need to ice his leg. This is what, his 6th kickoff tonight? Fifth kickoff. Because we received the opening.
Yep.
And back deep, it's going to be Knutson and Wiles, I believe, on the far side. This one's going to go to Knutson. He's got his heels at the 4-yard line. He's going to try to take it across field. Here comes Peyton English again. Trips him up. And I believe Simon Emanuel was coming for the second half of that tackle. And the gold rush will go back out there. We've had a forced fumble deep in their own territory. We blocked a punt within their own 5-yard line. And Red Wings starting off again inside their 20. You almost wonder, hey, just let that go and start at the 20.
Yeah, I was just thinking the exact same thing. And all it's got to do is break the plane,
Yep.
and they could have the ball and not take the lick from
Oh.
Peyton English or Zeke Spencer.
So here goes Rowe in motion as they're going to, oh, it's a smart play by Nelson. It looked like he was going to hand it off to, I believe, Christensen, and it got knocked out of his hands, and Nelson just falls on it as they are back at the 15-yard line, so a loss of about 5. Second down and 15, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Stewartville up 30.
Well, with the quarterback shuffle they've been having over the last few weeks, you expect a little bit of that. But I know the last time we were here, it was the ball was on the ground more than it needed to be. So Red Wings got to clean that up a little bit if they're going to fight back here.
Cal Nelson sends Greeley in motion. He's going to look to this side. They're running like a wheel route to Rowe. Here comes Luke Eastman. He's now got 3 picks against the Wingers. You think they'd learn? He's going to try to take this to the house. He gets knocked out at the 10-yard line, I believe. Luke Eastman. He loves playing Red Wing, coach. Loves it.
Yeah, we're 3 picks against one team. That's he's going to be dreaming about that. That's awesome. That ball just didn't quite have enough juice to get down the sidelines to his receiver, and Luke Eastman was all over it. He saw the underthrow, and he snatched that up. Took it all the way down to the, what'd you say, the 15?
Yeah, I think we're actually at closer to the
10-yard line.
12-yard line.
All right.
You and I compromised there, it looks like. Malik Abdi in the backfield. You wonder if we're going to just keep letting Vince Wellick air this thing out, or if we're going to start seeing the two-headed monster start to eat. And it looks like we have our answer. Malik Abdi cuts it back. He's behind Shell Lunas. Great patience there by the junior Abdi as he makes it down to about the 3-yard line. And it's going to be second down and about 2, I would say.
I would call that Malik Abdi's superpower as a running back. His patience and ability to just stay behind the blocks as long as he possibly can and then burst when it's time. And he showed that perfectly right there.
His footwork and his patience and his side-to-side agility is just fun to watch. 22 in the backfield, height to the left. They're going to reset. They're going to send Potts over to the left, Hats and Potts over there on the left side. Heck, I might be able to get 2 yards behind those 2 big cats as well. It's going to hand that one off to Abdi. Abdi's just going to cut it back and work his way in as Malik, sweet feet, Abdi scores his first touchdown of the night, and he is the 6th Tiger to get in the end zone. And Stewartville's up 42-6, 1:37 to go in the first quarter. Our big cats are just so good, Coach.
Yeah, well, they're just dominating the trenches, and you can just see the shoulders starting to sag a little bit on the Red Wings sidelines. They had the one big play, and now it's starting to kind of be real here of what a good football team they're facing tonight.
Klug is on to kick this one. He puts that one into the band, or where the band sits. It almost took out our camera. That's the first one he's missed, I think.
I think so.
42-6 Stewartville, 1:37 to go in the first quarter. Coach, have you ever seen this many points scored this fast?
I was actually just thinking if I've ever seen
because
7 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Mazeppa, I want to say it was like 38 points in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of the other game. Was it? It was Lake City.
Yep.
That it just came unglued for them.
Yep.
I think we had 51 in the first half.
By half, yeah.
But I mean, we're at 42 points, and there's a minute 37 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, we may see Kundert at quarterback. Maybe not.
Maybe
we'll see. Maybe we'll see Drew Muller at quarterback though. He's down there. Oh, there's a great story about. Did you hear the story about the kicking tee with Drew Muller and Crosby Miller?
I did not.
Okay, the coach told me it offline this week when we were recording his Tuesdays with Muller, and I said, you have to tell that story online. It was something about that they couldn't find the kicking tee, and like one of those 2 kids had it, so they had to go for 2, and like they weren't planning to go for 2. I said, you got to tell the whole story. It was great.
Yeah.
And Brecken Rester coming out to kick for us. Soccer player, he's our goalie. Outstanding season for the boys soccer team. They made it to the section semifinal as the 4 seed. before they lost to Leward, the eventual section champion, and now the number 3 seed in the state tournament. That goes off the hands of Wiles, and he picks it up at the 1-yard line. And Peyton English absolutely lays him out. He's going to say forward progress gets him at the 1. I think Peyton English was drooling, drooling as he saw him pick that ball up.
Well, when you're a gunner and you're running down and nobody touches you and you get a free hit on a ball carrier who is fumbling around and trying to pick up the ball, you'll be drooling.
And a smart
Peyton
man
English
told
was.
me that Peyton English's bones are thicker than the regular human being.
Denser is probably what I meant. But
Density.
do you know what I mean, though? Like,
No, I hear
some
ya.
guys are just like, man,
I
you're
know, some are bones, some are like our biceps. You know what are you gonna?
well, I know.
Nelson halfway into his own end zone. Wiles doesn't know what happened. He's standing behind Nelson saying, please don't give me the ball. And they're going to, and it doesn't matter. Zeke Spencer puts him down for a safety. Rich Hatz is there to help him out. And the old Gold Rush is bringing points to the scoreboard themselves. It's now 44-6, Coach. 1:26 to go in the first quarter. Wow.
Well, you said the Red Wing touchdown woke everybody up, and I think that may have been the case because since that one play, I don't know that Red Wings gotten the ball past the 20-yard line here, and Stewartville has slapped 40-some points on the board.
Well, it's almost like what my wife tells me sometimes. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. And that one play that they had may be their one of 2 on the night if they can find another one. But Stewartville, after that one lapse of judgment there on defense, everything else has been all Tigers. This is the tough part. So even though you go up, first of all, this is a playoff game. It's win or go home. Second of all, Red Wings scored 33 points in the second half.
Yep.
I don't know if you can just shut down your Gold Rush and just let them throw wherever they want. So I think that's a decision that Coach Muller is going to have to make. Like, we don't need them putting up 20, 25 points in the second half. Like, that's what Stewartville football is all about. We'll see what happens. But I'd imagine that in the back of their head, this is a different team than what we played in Week 7.
Right.
They obviously could score in bunches. They outscored Lake City in the second half last week. That's going to bounce up. Wangen is going to pick it up, and sometimes this actually is advantageous because everybody gets out of position, but no, Kajewski is there to take him down and give Kajewski credit for wrapping Wangen up. He's not an easy guy to bring down. 1:20 to go in the first quarter, 44-6 Stewartville. I would imagine to see a dose of ground and pound here, Coach. We haven't seen much of Scanlon and Abdi through the first 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah. I think at some point, and I don't know what the point total is in Coach Muller or Coach Haynes' brains there, but at some point, health becomes the ultimate goal. Get through the night, keep everybody healthy for Saturday. Not that you're putting the cart in front of the horse or whatever, but you just kind of know you got things in hand, and you need to keep everyone healthy. But at that point, you're not going to worry about the scoreboard so much, but we'll see when that is.
Strips right, Scanlon goes in motion. That one's over his head, and hopefully Wellick just jumped on it. No. But Doobie's there. He's going to pick it up, and he's going to run it. He got a taste of the ball in his hands, and he was going to look to make something happen. He actually picked up about 4 yards. What an athlete. I don't think that was tumbleweed, Coach.
I just know that had he broken that, I might have had to peel you off the ceiling.
Yes. That would have been my favorite play of all time.
It would have been, yeah. It would have. You would have been on the ceiling.
Wow. Second down and 21, 48 seconds to go in the first quarter. Stewartville up 38 points. Zeke Spencer's out there now. So, yeah, with Hoot out, we're going to see a lot more Spencer and Height at H-back, I would imagine, even Justice Dino. Another low snap. Do we have a new center in there? Or? Wellick throws it up to Jace Klug. Oh, he drags his toe. He got it. They're looking at each other. You betcha.
Tremendous concentration there.
What field awareness by Jace Klug. And wow, how about Vince Wellick buying all sorts of time?
Throwing off his, I think he threw it off his left foot while going left and snapping the throw right to the sidelines. And Klug did the rest. Well, we've seen Chase his Klug's athleticism in the last few games as he's been kicking extra points and catching balls, running jet sweeps. He's able to do a lot of different things.
So Zeke Spencer at the tight end position. I believe that's Dino at the H-back. Wellick in the backfield sends Dino in motion to the near side. They're going to hand that one off to Scanlon, who bounces it out to the left. Great blocking there by Dino, but tackle is made by Knutson. And Scanlon picks up about 5, which is half of his average when he carries the ball.
Yeah.
You're talking about Dylan Scanlon, a guy that has 71 carries for 726 yards. It's over 10 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns on the ground. As that is the end of the first quarter, 44-6. It started out with a 15-yard touchdown pass from Wellick to Bancroft. A 2-point conversion was good. That made it 8-0. Then it was an 80-yard touchdown pass from Nelson to Knutson, where Knutson ran the last 45 yards or so to make it happen. Broke a couple tackles, made it 8-6, but then it was touchdowns by Wangen, Doobie, Height, Klug, and Abdi made it 42-6, and then the safety by Zeke Spencer made it 44-6, and that's where we sit going into the second quarter. What a play, though, on second down and 21 for Wellick to roll out of the pocket. We've seen a couple bad snaps in a row. I don't know. I would imagine Riggin is still out there.
I think he is. We've maybe seen one per game from Riggin that gets a little squirrely, but he's really done a nice job overall throughout the season. And with Red Wing having a defender right in his face, sometimes that's just a little more challenging. They sit in that 3 shell or the 3-4 shell. It just gets to be a little bit hairy sometimes.
Want to thank all of you that are out there tuning into this broadcast. A good showing here for this quarterfinal game in Section 1 3A. Big thanks to Todd Lechtenberg for giving up his Tuesday night and running the camera for us. Obviously, Coach Aaron Meyer alongside me, Adam Peterson. Appreciate Coach Meyer's football IQ, as he's forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. And then I'm up here just drinking my Gatorade, having a good time. Actually, it's Powerade Zero. Can't put sugar in me. I might get out of control.
Do you ever just have a cup of coffee or
no, never drink coffee.
How about
I've had sodas, you know. I like soda, but God.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
It's just in the blood. I love it.
I guess
love
so.
it.
It's Stewartville football. Inject that in my
There you
veins,
go.
baby. Second down and 5. They're going to send Wangen in motion. He comes across in a little mesh concept. Wellick is buying time. He floats it up to Wangen, who cleared the defensive backs. Here comes Klug, just stands back to back. And number 3, Cody Roshan, knocks him out of bounds. But it's a first down. Great job by Wellick, rolling to the right. Wangen came in motion, had to clear on that mesh route all the way across. He had to beat those linebackers into the open field on the opposite side, and Wellick floated a great ball to him. And now it's first down and 10 from the 23-yard line.
Yeah, just so patient there. And the offensive line did a great job giving him time. Wellick let his receiver clear all the way across, as he mentioned, and once again, threw just a beautiful lob pass right on the mark.
I'm going to say this is going to be Scanlon to the far side. They're going to send Wangen. Maybe he'll seal block. He gets it to Scanlon somehow. Oh, Scanlon! Ducking and diving! He gets into the end zone. What a run by 21, Dylan Scanlon. Boy, great job by Wellick just to control that snap. Somehow gets it to Scanlon. Scanlon looks like he was going to slip on the grass. Somehow cuts it back to the middle, then back outside, uses his speed. 23-yard touchdown pass or run, 50-6 Stewartville.
Yeah, and you called it the two-headed monster with Malik Abdi and Dylan Scanlon, and we just saw Scanlon's superpower right there, finding the hole, hitting it with a burst, and you're just never going to catch him.
And Jace Klug on for the extra point. Wangen's going to hold. Not an easy job holding. And Klug puts it through, 51-6, 11:46 to go in the second quarter. We have 3 full quarters to go, and Stewartville's halfway to 100.
How about that? And we got a lot of game left here. I've never seen 100 in a football game, so.
Yet.
I do want to point out, I don't know who makes the decision, if it's Coach May, Coach Muller, but we talked about how Parker Wangen has the school record for points scored at SHS, and here he is giving up these free points that he could be kicking through the uprights to just pad those stats in a game like this. But if you know Parker Wangan, you know he's probably the loudest one saying, no, let Jace kick it. I'll hold. He's a very unselfish young man for those of you that are watching at home. Like I said, he could be padding those stats and just setting that mark way out of reach, but he's always willing to help out a buddy, and we see it there with the extra points.
Yeah, before tonight, well, if you include tonight, 18 touchdowns for Wangan, I believe 24 extra points, 5 2-point conversions, 4 field goals. Don't make me do the math, but he came into this game 44 points on the season, which ironically is what both he and Carter Miller had last year after the state championship game. So they had 14 games, 144 points. Parker Wangan had 144 in 8 regular season games, many of which he didn't play the second half.
Yeah, wow.
I believe this one's Kajewski, it is. And Brody Buckmeyer jumps on Kajewski's back and drags him down at about the 35-yard line. Great return there by the junior, Brock Kajewski.
He got a nice block there in the middle that I think there might have been some coaches calling for a hold, but didn't get called. Out to the 35, and they got to be feeling pretty good about that.
We'll see if they go with the Coach Meyer game plan of just keep chucking the ball 50 times a game. Luke Eastman made him pay the last time.
If they're going to do that, though, they got to give him some time. They have to chop block at the line. That's the thing that they're just getting run over. And, you know, oh,
my gosh, Zeke Spencer comes in there like shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, we could hear that from up here. That was
Boy,
a big
he met
hit.
him at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Zeke Spencer knows how to fill a window.
Excited about that? Okay. All right. There we go. Big runs, big hits, big touchdowns. Love them all, Coach.
Yeah, that was an awesome play. A gain of 1 yard sometimes can be just as good as a interception or a 50-yard touchdown run.
Zeke Spencer, just a junior. Glad to have him coming back next year. 6'3", 200 pounds of just steel. They're going to try a little reverse. All sorts of confusion. They fumble it. The running back's got to get out of the way because Rose trying to come around for a reverse. Nelson tried to pitch it to him. And they're lucky Doobie didn't pick that one up and take it back.
You could see the confusion and all three guys kind of looking as to how it was supposed to go. I'm sure it worked better in practice.
I'm getting a lot of flack from some of my buddies, Mike and John, for calling it soda.
Oh,
Apparently in Minnesota it's pop.
Well, we have that discussion in class every
what do
once
you
in a
call
while.
it?
I call it pop, yeah.
Okay.
But soda's okay. I had a new student move from Colorado, and she was giving us a hard time about calling it
She
pop.
calls it soda.
Yep. She's
Yeah,
like, what are you
same.
talking about? It's pop.
Well, down
What's
south
pop?
they call everything Coke.
Right.
You want a Coke? Sure. What kind? I thought you just offered me a Coke. As Nelson's going to drop back to pass. Oh, it's blocked by Zeke Spencer! He looked like Matilda Doobie smashing a volleyball, our middle hitter. Did you see that?
That was.
Oh, he's dancing a little bit. Don't get a flag. It's third down.
Well, everything right now going Stewartville's way. Nelson stepped up. He was going to rip that. I couldn't tell who the intended receiver was, but he was letting it fly.
It almost looked like he closed his eyes and just tried to throw it as hard as he could. I mean, if Zeke Spencer's coming at me, I'm throwing that thing out of bounds.
We're going to get a
12 man.
timeout here from
from Red Wing. They were missing a guy. The last thing you want to do is let Stewartville get a run on your punter.
Yeah.
With only 10 guys out there to protect you. 51-6, 9:54 to go. 9:54 till you can get to halftime, maybe get a soda out of the fridge, and, have a nice drink. Try updates around Section 1, 3A. Lake City La Crescent, that's the game that we will play the winner of. Lake City up 21-7 with under a minute to go in the second quarter. Pine Island now up 13-0 over the 7-seed PEM Bulldogs. That is at halftime. Rochester Lourdes now up 21-0, 11 minutes to go in the first half. So Lourdes putting it on them.
we'll be curious. What's Lourdes, a 7? Is that 6?
6.
A 6 seed. We
PM
were
got the 7 seed, and that
Oh,
one's
nice
going to go
punt.
beyond Wangan, but Wangan's going to pick it up and try to return this. He's just going to come out of bounds. I think that's the smart play.
Yeah.
Save the yardage from it bouncing towards our end zone, and then do the safe thing, get out of bounds. And he ran out about the 42, it looks like.
In the second half of our last Red Wings Stewartville broadcast, you and I had a discussion about the MSHSL football playoffs
Uh-oh,
and
did
how
they send
Wisconsin
an
a
email?
little no.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, maybe.
to my junk
Kurt
box.
Hughes will have to ask Kurt. But I was just wondering tonight, how many upsets will there actually be across the state? And
know,
really,
I'll
I
look for
don't,
ya.
I wouldn't call Lourdes beating Zumbrota an upset.
Right.
Those two teams have very similar records. They're not identical by any means, but I don't think that's an upset. But across the state, I just don't think you're going to see many upsets.
Abdi moved out to the far side, so Wellick all alone. They got trips right. Wellick is going to throw this one. He throws it up to Abdi, who catches it. And if he breaks that tackle, he's still on his feet. Gets tossed to the ground at the 25-yard line. I don't know if Abdi has had a catch this year. I have to have it written down. No, he does have 2 catches for 8 yards. But that one was on a little bit of a fade route, and Wellick threw it up there for him.
Yeah, down the field. Malik's an amazing basketball player, so he's got ball skills. He can go up and get the ball, catch it, run. He showed it there.
We already see Pete Cheddar warming up on the sideline. Hopefully he's just cold, because I'm loving what Wellick's doing. Abdi next to Wellick. He sends Parker Wangan in motion. They're going to fake the jet sweep, come back, counter with Abdi. Malik Abdi bounces out. Shell Lunas clearing out that whole right side. It's like a snowplow just pushing white jerseys around.
Yeah, you called it. That was fantastic. Seeing Shell Lunas just clear the way.
Him and Tor Lunas, could you
Yeah.
thank you, Lunas family.
Yeah, a couple big dogs there for sure. And I had their other brother, Colton Doty Davitt. He was a very good football player as well that used to play O-line, D-line, and wreak havoc just as well as his brothers did.
That's awesome. I remember that name.
Yep.
Wangan on the near side, Bancroft at the right tight end. On the far side, you got Mickey Height, Jace Klug. In the backfield, Malik Abdi. There goes Wangan in motion. Wellick takes the snap. He pitches it out to Wangan, who's got the blockers out in front of him. Klug gets enough, and Wangan's going to step out of bounds right about the 11-yard line and gets us a new set of downs. It also provides us an opportunity to still get a first down without scoring. I don't think it'll happen, but it does give us that opportunity. 8:23 to go. Stewartville up 51-6. They have scored 43 unanswered points since that big play from Nelson to Knutson early in the first quarter. Jace Klug on the far side, Abdi behind Wellick, first down and 10. They marked it at the 12-yard line, so really we only need to get to the 2. Bancroft checking, goes in motion. Here's the handoff to Abdi. Abdi with the patience. Oh my gosh, Eli Reagan just buried somebody now. Our big cats, 2nd and none.
Yeah, they pushed the interior line all the way into the end zone. Actually, a pretty good job by the defensive ends from Red Wing crashing down and being able to tackle Malik Abdi from behind there.
Just under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Stewartville getting the play from the sideline. 2nd down and about along 6. A lot of times Coach Muller will play his starters the full first half regardless of the score. He feels like they earned that right. Also having to try to prepare them, but like you said, balancing health. There goes Malik Abdi, and he's going to try to get into the end zone. He's taken down at the 2-yard line. That tackle was made by number 16, Hunter Greeley. And it's going to be first down and goal from about the 2-yard line. Please give it to Lincoln Doobie again. Or that Rich Hats pass.
Yeah, another.
I mean,
crack
I
at
don't
it.
I don't usually think there's wide receivers out there when he does it, though. That would be cool. Wellick in the backfield takes the snap, hands it off to Abdi to the left side, spins through, and Malik Abdi scores from 2 yards out with 7:02 to go. That makes it Stewartville, as the Tigers are just rolling right now.
Well, they're finding a lot of different ways to move the football, and sometimes just handing it right up the middle is the easiest way. And Malik Abdi did it twice there and scored after.
Leslie Coonert out there in the second quarter for an extra point.
Here we go.
We saw an extra point and a touchdown from Coonert the last time he was on Schaefer Field. We'll see if he can put it through the uprights here. The snap is good. The hold is down. Coonert just short.
Well, he might get another shot later, so hang in there, Leslie. You'll let her rip again here.
57-6 with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. And we've seen the two-headed monster be unleashed those last 3 drives, Coach. We had a 2-yard touchdown run by Abdi at the end of the first quarter. Then Dylan Scanlon, 23-yard run, very impressive at the start of the second quarter. And you just saw Malik Abdi with his second touchdown run. 7:02 to go, makes it 57-6. We may score 71 in the first half, Coach.
Yeah, well, and I was just kind of thinking, even if you sit down, Scanlon and Malik, you still got Peyton English, you got
Simon
Emmanuel. You're just, it's not like you fall off much, and these guys are going to run through holes if they're there. So,
well, and that's the other thing is even bringing in some of our, backups, guys like Tommy Lofgren.
Yeah.
He's annihilating people.
yeah. Well, it's a culture, and there's depth all the way from, the best player on the team all the way down to number, 50, 60,
I see
70,
they
however
brought
many
up some
guys are on the
ninth
roster.
graders,
Yeah,
too.
about 9 or 7 to 9 ninth graders are going to continue to practice with these guys and get the experience of making a playoff run with these guys. So good for them.
How cool is it to be able to be on the sidelines for this playoff run, being around, like you said, the older guys, the culture. Brecken Rester boots that one away. It's caught at the 15-yard line. I believe that's Kajewski. It is. He breaks the first tackle, but he's brought down by Eli Shy. I've been practicing that name for about 2 weeks. The old tongue twister for me, for whatever reason. You're starting to see some twos filter in there. You see Peyton English out there. Tommy Lofgren's out there. Carson Goodman would be considered a 2, I believe. You got Colin McGill at safety, 26. You got Karsten Rader. So you do have some 2s already filtering in here, and it's not even halfway through the second quarter. But, like you said, not much of a drop-off. 75 there, Jacob Billings on the interior. Grayson Schneider, the animal, still on that far defensive end spot, though. Nelson's going to roll to the right, kind of tucks in. I just said Grayson Schneider. Did he not hear me? Don't run at him. He's going to take you down. We'll see if it was a tackle for a loss or if he did get him behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, Schneider spent a lot of his time tonight on the left side of the defensive line, and I would imagine coaching staff probably knew that Nelson was going to be rolling right often, right into Grayson Schneider. And then as soon as I say that, here he flips to the right side. So maybe he's just going wide side of the field, which is very possible as well.
There's the snap to Nelson. He's going to look to his right. Now looking down the middle of the field. He goes for Knutson, who had a great catch. Good tackle by, I believe, is that McGill? It is. Like you've said, the middle, it seems like the middle of the field in terms of passing has been one of those soft spots for the Stewartville defense. We've seen running backs kind of go up the seam in the middle. There you see Knutson find an opening. And great pass there by Nelson. But to your point, they gave him time.
Yeah.
They gave him time. He's clean.
Yep. And great catch by Knutson there across the middle. He catching it in traffic's never easy.
Nelson's going to hand that one off up the middle. That one's to Christensen. And Dino, all sorts of flags coming in. Did they think it was a face mask? Personal foul, face mask.
Called it on 57.
I
We
think it
couldn't
was
really see
75.
that. Oh, so yeah, that
Yeah.
might have been.
Because I don't think Lofgren's even out there. 51's out there now in his place. Oh, no, 57 is out there, but it wasn't. I think it was 75. Maybe he was looking at him upside down. I don't know. Thought it was 57. Easy mistake. The ball is now at the 34-yard line of Stewartville as Red Wing is starting to push it down the field. try to get a score here before the end of the first half. Try to double dip. 5:22 to go. Nelson's going to hand that one off the middle. Wiles, he's hit by was it Dino? Dino, and there goes a flag. Something must have been said because they were already back. Yep, unsportsmanlike conduct. And somebody's going to be taken off the field. Here comes Mickey Height. What is it, 2 you get tossed? And if
I
you
think
get
so.
tossed, are you out the next game?
I believe you are, actually, yeah.
I imagine that might be the last time you see Dino on the field tonight.
I sure wouldn't risk it. He's a valuable guy. He's intense with everything he does, and so
Justice Dino, second on the team in tackles with 34, 8 tackles for loss. Last year, he had 80 tackles himself, which is just incredible when I was looking at some of those linebacker tackle totals. But I think because it's spread out so much, so
Yeah.
many guys make so many plays, you're seeing a lot in that 30, 35 range. They send Greeley in motion. They're going to fake the handoff. It's almost like an option play. He cuts back, but there's Grayson Schneider as he buries him into the Schaefer Field turf.
great job, Grayson Schneider, to be patient on that. He kind of just waited to see what was going to happen and then destroyed the ball carrier once he knew where it was going to end up.
I like seeing that. I saw Zeke Spencer kind of help Red Wing guy up off the ground. Hopefully we can maintain, some sportsmanship, play hard to the whistle, and then make sure everybody's safe. Because player health is a big concern when you're in the playoffs. You cannot lose your top guys. Trips to the right, trips right, one to the left. Christensen behind Nelson. He's going to roll to the right. Christensen gives him a little bit extra time. There's going to be a hold, I believe. Nelson is running. Oh, my gosh! He just got drilled by Zeke Spencer. It's going to be a hold, so it's a huge hit taken for, what was going to be called back anyway. Boy, Spencer just nailed him.
Yeah, as he was going down, that was a big one.
Hopefully Nelson just got the wind knocked out of him. We don't want him to be seriously hurt, obviously. 4:06 to go here in the second quarter. Aaron Meyer and I are going to step away for just a few seconds, let them tend to the quarterback here, and we'll be back after they get everything straightened away. Hey, everybody tuning in, we just want to give you an update. We have the camera focused on the S here because they are going to be taking this player off via ambulance, it looks like, maybe spine board precautions. So just out of privacy and respect for the Red Wing team and the player and the families, we're just going to keep it on the S and cut the audio. So just want to give you an update. It could be another 10 minutes or so that we are waiting. So we're back here. Stewartville up 57-6, 4:06 to go in the second quarter, and it looks like Red Wing is going to say that's good enough after the injury to their starting quarterback, and we hope everything is okay with him. Obviously, sending thoughts to Red Wing and their players, and especially Cal Nelson, and hopefully tests come out okay. The players are lining up here, so that will do it for our game here. 57-6 is final score. Coach, tough one, tough to end on that kind of note. It's one thing at halftime to kind of shut it down, but after a serious injury like that, it just kind of takes the wind out of the sails for any type of performance that you may have put on. Any thoughts of your experience and being a coach and on that sideline, and gosh, what do you even say?
I mean, I've been on both sides of this where we've had our own player be carted off from that exact same spot, which kind of gives me chills to think about. And it is tough to play football after that. So probably a good decision, just knowing that the score is pretty lopsided at this point, and it didn't look like things were going to change. I guess my thought is just kind of going back to our conversation from a week ago. Is having a powerhouse 8-0 team play against a team that's struggling, year after year? Is that necessary to start the playoffs or not? I just think it's something that maybe the State High School League needs to revisit and decide, do they actually need the gate money that they're getting tonight, or could we just kind of get rid of this first round of playoff games and find a better way to start the playoffs, a little farther along than maybe how we're doing it now.
And you see the standing ovation from the crowd, something that I didn't know until I was told, because I usually, as soon as the broadcast is done, duck out. But I was told that in week 7, I know there was some talk about with the number of injuries and how far down Red Wing was in their roster and their depth chart, that there was question on whether or not they were going to play. They decided to show up, honor the commitment to play us in the regular season on week 7, which was senior night. And what I was told is, as Red Wing came from their sideline, they have to exit on our sideline and our entrance, where all of our fans and players and parents usually are at the end of the game. And the Red Wing players got a standing, essentially an ovation as they went by, just as trying to show a sign of respect for them trying to compete with us, or coming out and compete shorthanded. Obviously, I think this round of applause from the Stewartville crowd was not just for the Tigers' performance tonight, but also trying to tip your hat to the Red Wings, saying, we know you had a tough year, but we appreciate that, you came out and you battled. They had a great play to Knutson there early in the first quarter, but just outmanned by a really tough Stewartville team.
Well, in such a tough way for your season to end for the Red Wing seniors, you probably came in here knowing it was going to be tough to go, but to not even get to halftime and for the game to end on a unfortunate situation is just rough for them. So hopefully they can stick together as a team and get their QB healthy and move on to next season.
You see Stewartville waiting at midfield, I would imagine, for the Red Wing players. And maybe there will be a moment of, togetherness, or all together trying to send thoughts Cal Nelson's way as he's likely headed to the hospital. And nice to see these teams come together. Tough situation. You'd like to be excited for the performance that Stewartville's offense put on in the first half, but like you said, player safety, player health is priority number 1, and it's sad to see one of them go down for sure. So that'll end this Tuesday night game, this quarterfinal game. We move on. Stewartville moves on to the semifinals. They will play the winner of Lake City and La Crescent. In the other bracket, it will be Rochester Lourdes, either Rochester Lourdes, Pine Island, PEM, or Zimbrota Mazeppa in that other half of the bracket. Stewartville will host. It's a 1 o'clock game on Saturday here at Schaefer Field. And I'm going to, obviously you and I will be here.
We will be.
And we'll be calling that game. And I think we're going to step away for just a minute and allow this team moment to happen off air. And we'll be back in just a minute to wrap this up. So that'll do it, Coach. The quarterfinal game is in the books. Stewartville wins 57-6. Aaron Meyer, any final thoughts from you on tonight and then going into Saturday against the winner of Lake City and La Crescent?
No, I think for Stewartville, it's good to get the win. Obviously, a tough way to finish the game, but they need to refocus and just get ready for the next opponent, whoever that might be. Yeah, when the playoffs are going, it's one tough night and you're done, and it's always the worst night of the season for a football coach. So Coach Muller talks always about how they have earned the right to stick together for another week, and here it's only a half week to get ready for Saturday. But they've earned it tonight and got a nice win, and I'll be excited to see how Saturday turns out.
And Coach Meyer and I will be here to bring you that action 1 o'clock on Saturday. Probably tune in around 12:45. We'll try to get things kicked off with a 12:40 pregame show before the national anthem. We'll try to get you all prepared for what's going to happen in that Section 1 3A semifinal game. It'll be right here in Tiger Nation, and it'll be Stewartville against Lake City or La Crescent. We'll find out here probably in the next hour. But we appreciate you tuning in and following along for Stewartville football. But one last broadcast for Coach Meyer and I as the section championship game has been shuttled off to NSPN. And so far, I've not heard back from them. It doesn't sound like they will have us on the microphones for that. So one more broadcast for the team up here, and we appreciate you following along, supporting the team, and we'll see you one more time on Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock. But for us here in Tiger Nation, it was Stewartville 57-6 through 1 1/2 quarters of play before we shut this thing down. That'll do it here. Everybody have a good night, and we hope to see you Saturday afternoon. Dan, if you're still listening, I hope we made you proud.